to show you how you would find standards-based grades in courses for those of your teachers who have piloted that as trailblazers. Once you open an individual course, you're going to notice that the third option on the far left is Gradebook. Now that's been there since we started using Schoology, but of course, no one was required to do grades in Schoology other than GBA. So you may not have perused it much if you're looking at your teacher's courses. But you'll also notice that the fifth one down is Mastery, which has also been there, but has been repurposed for what's called District Mastery in Schoology, which just means the district can push out controlled objectives, which in our case are priority standards determined by academics. So what you would do is you could go into the individual gradebook, and you'll notice that you have, a typical looking gradebook that has the students down one side. And if I go to the third 9 weeks, a column for each grade. And I'm not going to belabor too much how to enter grades because you wouldn't be as concerned with that, but you'll just notice that each assignment is out of 4 points by default. And a teacher would just simply click on this little sort of grid to find a rubric that shows the 4, 3, 2, 1 scale and the objective that they chose to align to that assignment. They can just click in the box to grade that assignment and save it. So on the teacher end, you'll see that grading isn't really all that different than you might expect it to be. One thing that will have changed is on this far left where you find an overall and term grade. Those are numbers that you're largely going to want to ignore because it's averaging all the grades in that term and in that whole school year for that student, which you can't really do with standards-based grades, right? Because you're averaging grades of different standards together. So largely, we would ignore those two columns that would have been key to us in the past. The view you're going to be more interested in would be the Mastery one. So if I click on Mastery, again, it's on the left-hand side of a course. You're going to see in each course a pillbox diagram like this one for every domain that has been used. Now, this is a first grade class. This is all fake data, obviously. So this is a pillbox view of order on operations in first grade math. So you'll be able to quickly see each domain that's been graded. If I hadn't entered any grades for the other domains, you'd see pillboxes for those as well. So it's kind of color coded where one person has a 4, 7 have a 3, 1 has a 2, and 1 has a 1. When I click on the domain, as you would expect it to, it would drill down into the different standards in that domain. Below the pillbox now, I gain the ability to click on View Details and see really quickly who among that course's members are in each of the 4 categories. And if I need to, I can drill down even into each of the assignments in each standard. So this grade is what Schoology thinks the student should have gotten on the whole standard. Whereas if I click on one of the standards, it shows kind of the normal gradebook view where you have a column for each assignment that shows how the scores are, but it's just a color-coded version really of that, the assignments in that standard. The overall grade currently in Schoology is determined by the highest score the student got in that standard. Now, that is not our long-term intention, but it's the best of the options Schoology currently provides. So you'll notice that Laura here got a 4, even though she only got a 4 like one time on the items in that standard because it's the highest one. Whereas Shannon also got a 4, but she's consistently gotten 4s. You'll also notice that Teresa currently has a 2, but it took her getting 2s on every single thing to get that. If she had gotten one thing on grade level, it would have changed that to a 3. So we know that that's a little too lenient. That's the best option we have right now. And poor Aiden, my son, represents the 1s. He's just not there yet. So you can see it's really nice, very visual screen to kind of check out and see the data in a quick snapshot. Now, I have reached out to Schoology to see if there are plans to give you as principals any kind of aerial view of this. Can I look at domains for a group of teachers instead of having to go into each course? I'll let you know what we hear about that. But currently, you would have to go into the course to see it. It's still a bit quicker than drilling in and looking at each student's grades. These pillboxes are really going to help us out. And when you are at this mastery view in this one teacher's course, at least you can see it based on a domain. So this score, this 2.9, is just a very broad indicator that the kids in this class in general are mastering the standard. But remember, it means they've mastered the standard on at least one of the assignments. So it's not a tried and true approach, but it's a decent snapshot of how that class is doing at that standard or that domain.